I'm just not good at the playing hard to get. I want it more than he does usually, which is bad. Don't do that.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
What's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about the art of male sexual attraction. Now you might be thinking, men, they're visual creatures more often than not, so all you gotta do is be hot, all you gotta do is be that sex bomb with the perfect tits and the perfect face, or have like a specific visual sexual preference that they have, and they will fawn all over you and be absolutely in love with you. But something I've come to the realization of recently, well, I fleshed it out more recently, but it's something that I've always had an inkling about, is that it almost has nothing to do with physical appearance. I would say that the only big physical thing you have to not do while doing this other thing that drives men crazy is just don't be super obese, super unhealthy, or just extremely ugly. You can be looks-wise in a looks vacuum of 5 out of 10, and you will be more attractive to guys, or at least drive them more wild, I don't know if it's psychologically or sexually, than a girl who's a 10 out of 10 but doesn't do this. So before we get into it, my entire life I've watched movies, seen girls in Hollywood, and I've wondered why men always have crushes on celebrities, mainstream celebrities, more so than they do the way hotter, more sexualized porn stars, Instagram models, etc. Guys will often have a fixation on a certain celebrity, not to say that she's ugly, but she doesn't have all of the, let's say, physical sexual cues that many girls that are traditionally hotter would have. For instance, guys who fall in love with Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, even all the way up to actually beautiful girls like Margot Robbie, who is in Wolf of Wall Street, who is Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. She's hot, but is she really one of the hottest women in the world as people act? Same with Beyonce, all of these people. And that's always been something that's weird to me because all of the Instagram models I follow are way more perfect physically than they are. They have flaws, like for instance, not to hate on Margot Robbie because I know a lot of people are in love with her, but objectively try to think about it. Her tits aren't double D's. Her waist isn't 23 inches. This might not be the best example for today's youth. I don't exactly know who 16-year-old boys are fawning over these days, but I've always seen a trend that these women in movies who don't have all these visual cues where it's like, oh my god, I want to fuck you so bad, are the ones that guys are like hanging all over their walls and stuff. So then recently I actually started socializing and I met some new friends. Because at first I was like, maybe it's just because they have this celebrity status and guys for some reason like a really good celebrity status. Who fucking knows? I meet this girl through our new friends, and this girl I would say is maybe a 6 out of 10 in the friend group, not even the hottest of the friend group, I would say. But every guy that I knew wanted to fuck her so bad. I started to watch the way that she acts, and it was like a light bulb that went off in my head. This girl would tease the shit out of you. She would twerk a lot, she would dance, and it wasn't like a super sexualized, like I'm completely naked thing, but she would just have this like ooh-woo way about her kind of, that was like, ooh, pick me, and like, oh my god, I'm gonna turn you on, but I'm not gonna fuck you kind of attitude. She wanted a ton of attention. She's always like, oh my god, give me attention, give me attention. She would run around, be the center of attention, and had kind of like a sultry act about her, but she wasn't like giving it up and just like ready to fuck you. And she did this to everyone. She gave everyone this kind of attention that was like, give me attention back. That was the vibe, you know? And she was making everyone feel kind of special while acting super sexualized, while also not totally being a slut while doing so. You know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't grasp onto one guy that we were with and then flirt with him the whole night and then go fuck him. She would flirt with all these guys all night and then not fuck him. And these guys were like, oh my god, I want to fuck this girl so bad. And it really had nothing to do with her physical presence. It was the way that she was acting. And then I thought back to what made Margot Robbie a fucking heartthrob to all these men, and it was how she acted in Wolf of Wall Street. The whole like, oh my god, mommy's got this and that, let me keep you at a distance. Oh, you can't fuck today because mommy's not gonna let you fuck. Like that kind of shit. Being hard to get, having a subtle sexuality about you, and having this wrapped up in your personality seems to be a stronger attractor than actually having the titties that you want to fuck and the ass that looks like you want to impregnate it, whatever. You know, you can't, you know what I mean. You know what I fucking mean, okay? When you bend over, it kind of looks like boobs, and you know, that's how the fucking Neanderthals would fuck and all this shit. And then I realized that I'm kind of like this too. I had a type of guy that I liked, and I'm not fully demisexual, meaning like I don't have to love a guy's personality to want to fuck him, but when you see like that hot, strong, badass lawyer dude, you're just like, damn, I want to fuck that guy. He's so strong and powerful and confident. And the fact that these average to slightly above average celebrities are in these roles with these personalities is what's making us attracted to them, I think. Basically what you want to do is be confident, be a tease, but don't go so far as to be a bitch. Let's take another example, for instance. Have you guys watched the show Yellowstone? It's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's the first show that me and Hunter watched together. It's so fucking good. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. I'll put some visuals up on the screen if you haven't watched it so you can get an idea. But there's Beth. She's basically the daughter of the main dude in the show. And then there's her brother's wife. Now, I would say to most people, if you're just looking at the pictures here, her brother's wife might actually be hotter to a lot of people. She's younger by a lot. She's like early 20s or something. She's got a tight little body. She's got a cute little face. So Beth, on the other hand, as opposed to Casey's wife, she is like mid 30s. I think the actress is actually in her 40s. She doesn't have the perfect face. She's got like kind of biggish tits, but they're a little saggier. They're not the greatest. Her body's okay, but it's not a tight little early 20s body or anything like that. The reason that everyone has a crush on Beth, the reason that so many men I've talked to who watch that show are like, damn, I would smash the shit out of Beth, is because Beth just has a sultry way about her, but she's not fucking everyone on the block. The way she walks, the way she talks, the confidence with which she carries herself, it's crush material, and crushes can be stronger than just the physical attraction of what you see in a picture. To actually put the way a girl talks, the way she moves her mouth, just to be a little more vixen-like, to pull away and make him wonder, all these things, to be less available, but to be confident and mysterious, that's sexy, I think, to both genders, to all gender orientations or whatever. And that interested me, because I'm more of the overtly sexual, over the top, yeah, I have a personality, but is my personality really to like play hard to get? No. Is my personality to flirt with the same intensity with everyone that I don't want to fuck versus everyone that I do want to fuck? No, not at all. I mean, I'll flirt with everyone a little bit, but it's not going to be to the intensity where it's like, damn, I am so hard for this girl right now, I think we're about to go fuck, and then I pull back, you know? Like, I don't do that. And even following the theme of like, you know, you don't want that overt hotness in the way that you look, because often that'll scare people away or turn them off. This is another little side thing that I didn't actually get into yet, but I've noticed that if I had been a more relatably hot girl with no plastic surgery that looks kind of like the girl next door and is very sweet, more guys would approach me and more guys would be following me and stuff on Twitch, for instance, a place where guys are used to the girl next door and can't get the super hot vixens. I feel like that would have gotten me more followers and gotten me more dates and more people asking me out to be relatably hot. So that's another facet of it, that sometimes when you're too hot, you scare people away or you turn people off because they think they're not good enough to get you, or you're a gold digger and you signal certain things in the male brain where it's like, you have to be extra confident to pursue that girl, or you have to only see her as sexualized because you're worried internally that she's gonna cheat on you or something because she's so hot. There's that too. But anyway, so for me, it's been kind of a mystery. And then also in my personal life, seeing anecdotally that like when I'm forward with guys, guys aren't as interested as if they had to fucking work for me. So it even almost hurts me in the dating sphere to be as blunt or as sexualized as I am and as honest, because it's not gonna pull in that mystery and that just like the way you carry yourself type vibe without giving it up the first time you get a chance. Cause like, I'm not a slut, but if I'm signaling to you hardcore that I want you, you're probably gonna get me already. Every time I bring this up, especially when I use people like Margot Robbie, people often push back on me because they're like, she's a 10-10, she's fucking gorgeous. But like, can you set aside everything you know about her personality, the way she carries herself, the sultry manner and the like hard to get manner in which she carries herself, and actually look at her versus like one of the perfect Instagram models you see online? Another example that's worked on me is this girl called Trippy Bree on Instagram. Okay, so she's like Gen Z hot. I like really done up, lots of makeup, perfect hair, fake body hot. She's like early 20s, big cute eyes, not a lot of makeup, no titties, but a big ass kind of hot. Now, I don't usually follow those kinds of girls because they're not really my cup of tea, but the videos that she makes, I'll actually screen cap and put a couple of them on the screen right now. It's just like the most suggestive thing you could possibly imagine while looking innocent at the same time. It's the perfect amalgamation of making men fucking wet dream over you. And it's so interesting because I also think it's this way for women too. It's like women will fall in love with fucking Edward or whoever from fucking Twilight, or more recently from House of the Dragon, House of Dragons, I don't fucking know. The new Game of Thrones prequel. Everyone's falling all over Daemon Targaryen because he's like mysterious and pained and we can fix him. And he's got kind of a muted sexuality about him, especially with Rhaenyra and shit. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. I think it's better than Game of Thrones so far. And there have been some gripes that I've had with it that I've been able to overcome because of how good I think it is. So watch it. Hold on, it's a little too bright. So how do you use this practically? I fucking have no clue. As I always say when I'm talking about giving incels advice or giving men advice when dating, I think being yourself is a better option, but I think that these tools maybe you can use in a way that would somehow at some point become become not fake, and then it might actually help up your game. I think men and women are pretty similar. They just kind of come from a different baseline sometimes, but the same thing is kind of true for both. You get crushes on people more for personality often than you do just for looks. And someone like my boyfriend, for instance, he doesn't really have crushes on celebrities and stuff, but that subtle sexuality in people that we meet in real life definitely works on him. And of course, the overt sexuality is great too, especially for guys who are more visual and more sexual and want to spread their seed and all that stuff. But when you're working with women, I think the better path is to just be taking care of yourself a minimal amount, but then also having that confidence, that mystery, that not throwing yourself at a person. That's sexy to know that you're kind of independent. And then on the female side, when you're a female, when you're trying to get guys, having that air of sexual mystery, I think is really powerful. And I will leave you at the end of this something to think about. I will give you that visual representation of what the Wolf of Wall Street chick did at the end. Hopefully we don't get a copyright strike. So you can kind of see what I mean. Like, that's the scene that everyone fell in love with her over. And yeah, she's hot, but I wouldn't say she's the hottest woman in the world, but I would say that most people would rather smash her than the hottest woman in the world. A lot of people will elevate her sexiness because of that. Going back to Hermione Granger, she plays hard to get a lot. And yeah, she's a kid in a lot of it, but her being kind of like, whatever, like no, and strong and confident, while still showing a little bit of vulnerability. I think a lot of guys who like that kind of girl next door look, or who might not have as much confidence to look at the girls who are hotter, they're gonna fall in love with her because they're like, what I want is this confident girlfriend who has a little bit of vulnerability, who will like be there with me and be all cute while also being hot. So if you take away anything from this other than just being interested in it the way I am, kind of introspecting and thinking about the world and thinking about other people and outrospecting about other people, I guess, remember that like looks are not everything. I think they're like 40% of it. All you gotta do is have a baseline of not being like under a 3. Take care of yourself, whether you're a man or a woman, that's literally all that matters. And you can definitely be sexier to your man or to a potential mate than a quote unquote 10 out of 10 is, simply by adding in a little bit of that mystery and confidence, which is something you can actually fake till you make, but then once you make, it's actually there and it's actually real. For me, I found confidence, but I'm not necessarily mysterious enough. And I've wondered if I should change that about myself, and I don't think I will. Because if I'm hitting up a guy that I wanna fuck, I'm gonna be like, yo, I wanna fuck you. I'm not gonna like play hard to get and hope that like that works, because it just feels so unnatural. And hopefully my looks and my actual overt sexuality can kind of make up for it, because I don't know. I'm just not good at the playing hard to get. I want it more than he does usually, which is bad. Don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. Most of my viewership is men, so I'll ask in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with this? Introspect a little bit. Don't just like give me your emotional response, because I know your emotional response is gonna be like, well, Margot Robbie is the hottest girl I've ever seen or some shit. Another example, in the Robin Thicke video, Emrata or whatever her name, Emily Ratajkowski. Really? All she has is a nice pair of tits. No offense, nothing against her, but I can't imagine that for the time that she was like the biggest, hottest heartthrob ever, that it was simply because of her looks. It was the sensuality and the more down-to-earth sexuality and the boobies that she had in the Robin Thicke video. You wouldn't just see a picture of her and be like, whoa, this girl needs to be my top 10 on my list of passes with my wife. You just wouldn't do that. Come on. Disagree with me if you want. Post in the comments who your crushes are, whether they're in your personal life or celebrities, and let me know why you like them and why they're your crush. And tell me, honestly, is it purely because of the way that they look, or is it something more enticing in their personality? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out, whether you are male or female. Hi to the 5% of female viewers I have here, and I will see you guys in the next one.